Blog Talk Radio.
On Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. What's good, guys? What's good? Hold on, let me get my little background music going on. I told y'all. Shout out to Lena Jackson out of somewhere in North Carolina. This right here is House of Blues. She's raw. She's really raw. Yeah. I got two North Carolina artists right back to back here. Billy Lee. You remember Billy Lee? Yeah, I'm super excited tonight, guys. Super excited. I told you the month of February we had like five heavy metal and rock and roll artists. Yeah. Got one tonight, guys. So I'm super excited. I'm going to talk long. So I'm ready to start this interview with my guest this evening, but I do need to let you know what's going on for the rest of the week. I didn't realize today was Tuesday. That's just how crazy, the real world, that work life of mine has been. I didn't realize it was Tuesday. We were here last night, right? Yeah, with Kai Fazo was here last night. Hip-hop artist out of Brooklyn was here last night. And so on Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have urban fiction author V. Cole is going to be here. Remember, he's that edgy LGBTQ author. I can't wait to pick his brains. Just because he feels, he's got a different spin on the urban fiction genre. I can't wait. Can't wait to talk to him. And then on Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our annual anti-Valentine's Day show hosted by yours truly, and our co-host, Susan P. Newton, is back up in the house. And remember, guys, we have some millennials coming in. It's going to top it up with us and give us their perspective on relationships and, love. And these young ladies, I think it's 3 young ladies. They're ready. They've got their little dialogue together. They're ready. And then we have some older gentlemen that are going to come in and give them some feedback and, just give them their perspective on love and what they've gone throughout their lives, maybe offer some advice, on how to deal with these knuckleheads that they've been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe some millennial dudes will chime in and be like, nah, that ain't how it really is. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to play it by ear. We're going to have a lot of fun. For those artists that are still needing the email address to submit your music for the Hate to Love You playlist, you can submit to Siobhan at endiefiya@gmail.com. Don't send me your music, all right? Don't send me the music, because if you send it to me, we won't make the playlist. I'm going to tell you now, okay? My emails are flooded right now, so don't send it to me. Send it to Siobhan at endiefiya@gmail.com. I'm going to save the wrong email for her. And in the subject line, just put Hate to Love You playlist, all right? All right, if you cannot make them all, please do not miss them all. All right? I think that's all I got for you. That's all I got. That's all the announcements. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, so let's jump right into my interview. Yo, I'm crazy excited, guys. Let me tune this down. Tune this down, guys. Tune this down. Thank you. All right, so my guest this evening, why am I whispering? I don't know. When you think of like rock and roll, you think of heavy metal, you think loud, like, right? I'm over here whispering. All right. My guest this evening is Jeff Carlson of the Jeff Carlson Band. Jeff, Robbie Wolfe, and bassist Cory Kay have been playing together since 1998 under the band name of Liquid Skye. In 2017, Jeff signed with Potomac Records and recruited Todd Turgeon on drums. Thus, the Jeff Carlson Band was born in 2018. After the fall of 2019, the label Potomac Records folded, and Jeff signed a new record deal with RFL Records in late December of 2019. In February of 2020, RFL Records released JCB's version of a remake of Foreigner's Juke Box Hero, featuring Tesla's Frank Hannon on lead guitar, along with Jeff's first single, Screamin Inside. In October of 2020, Jeff signed a new management deal with Nolan Hodges of MK Music to further JCB's career, along with getting an endorsement deal with Spetraflex cables. In the short time that the band has been together, they have released 2 singles out on February of 2020, along with writing and recording a brand new full-length album entitled Yesterday's Gone that will feature the great Mark Slaughter on lead guitar on a remake of Journey's LaDoDa. The album will single entitled Fire, which will be out March 19th of 2021. They have shared the stage with the following heavyweight acts: Lita Ford, Bon-Jovi Phil X and the Drills, Faster Cat, Bang Tango, Firehouse, Jack Russell's Great White, Tora, along with 3 shows in early 2020 with Electric Radio Kings, Jizzy Pearl's Love Hate, and the Mighty Tesla, which will be rescheduled in 2021 with Tesla. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very, very special guest, Jack Carlson of the Jack Carlson Band.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Oh, my gosh. That was quite the introduction.
You are so very welcome. I want to say thank you for joining me this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you are here with me and my listening audience, giving so freely of yourself and of your time to share with us why it is that you love doing what you do. So, again, thank you.
You bet. No worries.
You know what? I don't think I have read the bio. I think I may have skimmed over it, so I'm like, oh, all these big words, all these names. I don't think I recognize any. Bon-Jovi, let me see. Oh, I hope I said that right. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm a great reader. You've got some heavyweights up in this bio. Oh, oh my goodness. I feel like, I questioned myself a couple of years ago and stopped doing this when I had my first Emmy Award-winning author and producer on the show. And when I was contacted by her assistant, and I thought at the time, you know what, no. I've been doing, podcasts and radio presentations for probably 10 years now. And I said to myself at the time, I thought, I'm not ready for this. Like, this is big. This is big for me. Like, her bio was, it was huge. That was big for me. And I thought, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. I don't know why they're contacting me. I'm not ready for this, And it was an amazing interview. And, like we talked before the show, I spoke with her before the show, and I had to ask her, why me? And the next day, she was actually going into Macy's with a product line, and she wanted to have my show, be the introduction for her product line. And I thought, why? And she said to me, why not? And never doubt yourself and never question, and at that point, I stopped doing that. And after that, it opened the doors to so many different avenues and genres of music and different people. And I stopped questioning, and then I read, like I spoke to you about Corners of Sanctuary, I read their bios and the artists that they've been on the stage with, and I read your bio and I say the same thing, and I say, wow, add that to my resume. Look, guys, look. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about these artists a little later, but, I wanted to start from the beginning and talk just about Jeff Carlson, just a little bit before we dive into the band itself. As a little kid growing up, at what point did you say, hey, I want to get into music. Music is my thing. Did you come from a musical background? Or one day did you just wake up and say, I like the sound of this music, I like the look of these artists, and this is what I want to do. What was it like for you growing up as a child?
Great question. Well, I grew up in the 70s and 80s. So my mom took me to see Kiss when I was 4 years old. And shortly thereafter, she took me to see a band called Black Oak, Arkansas. Now, they were real big in the 70s. The lead singer is a guy by the name of Jim Dandy Mangrum. And when I got to meet him, he was so personable and so just a wonderful guy, just a really cool, down-to-earth guy. But he had such a larger-than-life personality. David Lee Roth from Van Halen got all of his stage moves and his whole act from him, basically. He borrowed from him. And so as a kid growing up to see that was huge to me. And that was the day basically I woke up and went, that's what I want to be someday, And then growing up in the 80s, I got to see Bon-Jovi, and I got to see a lot of, Kiss. I got to see a lot of big bands. I got to see REO Speedwagon when I was about 11 years old in front of 80,000 people in Memphis.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was huge for me. Yeah, that was huge for me. That was like, life-changing type stuff, So you could say literally since I've learned to walk, basically, as a small child, I've wanted to be in the music, a musician. So yeah, that's kind of my background in a nutshell right there.
Wow, REO Speedwagon. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, they were a great band live.
I was naming out just some of the. You said the 70s and the 80s, so we might be, the same age bracket there. But I was naming out some of the bands that I remember listening to, back in the 80s and the 90s. And I forgot all about REO Speedwagon, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I understand that
Elvis Presley was huge for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I understand that you are on lead vocals as well as guitar.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
At what age did you begin to develop your skills as a singer and the passion for the guitar?
I started off on guitar when I was about 10 years old. My dad took me to see Ozzy Osbourne and in Memphis there, and that was really cool. As a kid, I remember thinking, man, I want to be a guitar player, And then I got about 14, I started really getting into vocal bands. I really started getting into Elvis Presley, and I loved the effect he had on, especially the female population on stage. And how, how he had that inner charisma, man. He had really good mojo. So that's something I always was in pursuit of. It made a huge impression on me. So I started singing when I was 14, and I've had probably 3 or 4 vocal lessons and 2 or 3 guitar lessons. I'm basically self-taught. And
really,
I grew up in the Midwest, in West Plains in Springfield, Missouri. That's where I'm originally from, and then I moved out to Las Vegas in '97. And been out here off and on ever since, so.
Now you have me thinking about watching videos, or I don't know, I wouldn't call them videos, but watching performances of Elvis and how, women would just pass out. He would do that, that little rock of his, that little wind up of his, that shirt half button or off, that run your fingers through your hair, on the side of his head. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was. They didn't call him the king for no reason,
No.
He had it going on.
And I think about it. Yeah, he definitely had it going on. And then I think about it, how in the 80s, I think I went through this period in the summer. I went down south to stay with my grandparents, and it was the late 80s. And I went through this period of just listening to like Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. I don't know. I just had this thing for Guns N' Roses, and I'd cross over between like Aha and Tears for Fears. I had this thing for like George Michael, and it was crazy. But these men had this. They had this look. Aerosmith. They had this look. This certain sex appeal. And they sold it very well. You know what I'm saying? So, I was never really, now Kiss, I was never really into them. I don't know, the face thing, I couldn't get into the face with them. I had to see your face, you know what I'm saying? But the hair, you know what I'm saying? The messy hair, I don't know. I was really feeling that. You know what I'm saying? All right.
There were more show than anything.
Yes. Yes. So, let's talk about the band, all right?
Okay.
When it comes to the creative process, and I haven't had a lot of bands on the show at all. I think probably one band, maybe two bands. But when it comes to the creative process, the creative processes and the writing of the music, is it a collaborative effort, or I know you are on lead vocals, but I also know that there are several others that sing backup vocals. So does one person sit down and write, or does everybody sit down and write, or does somebody write for the band?
Well, no. We usually the principal songwriters are myself and Robbie Wolfe. We come up with an outline. I write 98% of the lyrics. Robbie actually wrote a song called American Dream, which is going to be on our new record. That was his completely. We just revamped the chorus on it. But what usually ends up happening is I'll have an outline, and Robbie and I'll put together an outline of a song, and we'll bring it to Todd and Cory, and the four of us will sit down and map it out and actually rehearse it and tweak it here, or move things around to where we finally get to the finished product, and then we go to record. So it's just usually the four of us, but we basically refine it with the four of us, and Robbie and I come in with 3/4 of the song pretty much done. So that's how we do it.
Right, you've been together since, three of you've been together since '98.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Have you ever had any? And I know you have, because you're men. But and I know how it is working with women. But has there ever been times where you just said, you know what, I want a solo career. I want to just do this thing on my own, or has it always been, no,
well,
we're a band. We're gonna do this together.
Well, yeah, basically, the Reader's Digest version of that, of the answer to that is, we met in '97. We started playing together in '98. And we've gone through several different incarnations of different band names. We originally started with a band called Angel Park, which is the three of us and a different drummer. I mean, we're like, I don't know if you're familiar with Spinal Tap, but it's a mock rock band where they've had 10 different drummers, 20 different drummers. And the bass player, the lead guitar player, and the lead singer all stick together, but they've had all these different drummers. That's kind of like us.
No, I know Spinal Tap that they do. They pull the liquid out of your I know that's Spinal Tap. No.
Oh no. This is called Spinal Tap. It's a mock band. They're not real, but they're really funny. It's a comedy. So, but we played together off and on, and the thing is in '07 I moved to Tucson, Arizona with my wife, and she was from there, and so we moved out there to help her parents out and stuff. So we moved back here. I've got Crohn's disease actually, so I actually became disabled because of it. In let's see, when was it? 2010. So once I got diagnosed with that, I still played and everything. Luckily, it hasn't stopped me as far as performing physically, thank God, because it's just one of those things where you just kind of have to deal with it. There's not much I can do about it. But once I moved to Tucson in '07, and then I got signed to I put together a solo deal, and basically I modeled it. My whole business model was modeled after Bon-Jovi's because I got a lot of times if there's ever a member, like if you go see Michael Jackson, you're not going to remember who his bass player or drummer is. You know what I mean? If he has to ever replace any to go on the on the road or anything, it's not going to be as detrimental to the whole band as a unit versus a whole band outfit.
I don't want to go see
you know
Michael
what I'm saying?
Jackson. I don't want to go see Michael Jackson though.
Well, you know what I'm saying though. I mean, it's like there's a reason I did it that way, So, but at the same time, when I got back and I moved back to Vegas in Las Vegas in 18, and at the time I was recording, and I had Todd on drums that I have now, and we brought him in to record, and I thought he had another band at the time. I don't know what happened, but we ended up bringing in another drummer at the time, and then he left, and we brought Todd back. So I knew that I wanted, when we start playing and touring and everything, I wanted a specific set of guys that I handpicked, to play with me. So that's why I grabbed Cory and Robbie and Todd too. So I already knew we already had a really good chemistry together. So we hadn't played together from like '07 or '06 maybe till about, I want to say 2010. They came out to Tucson and we played together one show. We opened up for Frank Hannon from Tesla, and then they went back to Vegas. And then years later in 17, I got signed to my solo deal with Potomac Records. And then I moved back to Vegas, and here we are now. So that's kind of the history behind all of it.
Okay. I got it now.
Yeah.
All right. And that was just the filter question there. It threw me off. But going back to your the creative processes and how the songs are creative. Which song do you feel so far you have delivered your best performance on, either from an emotional or a technical point of view?
That's a really good question. Gosh, there's so many that, especially on this last record that's getting ready to come out, that really meant a lot to me as far as writing lyrically and performing to pull off the feeling to transfer it over to people. If I had to nail it down to just one, gosh, I would say a song called Yesterday's Gone. That's a really good one. And there's another song called Promise the Moon that we're putting on the new record. Another song called Fire. I mean, there's a lot of them. It's just so hard to nail it down to one song. Our next single, Fire, I wrote it about my wife, actually, and the lyrics mean a lot to me. So I think the performances are there, too. So, yeah. hopefully you guys will like it too.
All right, so I kind of can gather why that you mentioned the last song, because you gave a bit of an explanation. But now the first song that you mentioned, why that song? What's so special?
Which song was it? Was it Promise the Moon or
Promise the Moon?
Yeah, that song had a lot of. It's been with me a long time. A lot of these songs on our new record are old songs that we've written years ago that we brought back and we've updated them. And I've had that song. I had a band in Springfield, Missouri, where I was from, called China Blue, and that song was originally, a song that we'd written a long time ago, and I brought that. I've been literally writing and playing that song since I was probably 20. So yeah, it's that one because of the history behind it more than anything.
While we're talking about music, I want to jump into the first track that we have of yours, and it's So Long. Is this off of the up and coming project?
Yeah, this song's called. This song will be on our next album. Actually, it's not going to be released on Yesterday's Gone. It'll be. We have another album that'll be coming out mid 2021. I'm guessing probably June or July. And it's going to be called Second Chance. And originally this was an EP that we had done on Potomac Records, but since that folded, RFL is going to re-release those songs, and we're going to probably write 2 or 3, 4 new ones to add to that, because it was originally an EP, but we're going to make it a full-length record. So that'll be released later this year on RFL.
All right. So what was the creative process like for So Long? And what is it about?
It was, again, that was another song that Robbie and I had written together, 98, something like that. And when we first started playing together, and we had rewritten the lyrics to make it basically, it could be, there's a whole wide range of things it can be about. I mean, I hate to pigeonhole just one specific topic. So a lot of times the listeners can relate to it, and it could be completely different things, topics that we originally had in mind. But I mean, that's why I like to write in a bit of a broad stroke. So there's not one pigeonhole type thing on anything. A lot of people can relate to it. So I mean, that's kind of the goal when I write is to make it relatable to as many people as possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wrote it originally. Robbie and I actually wrote the words to that. It could mean, a relationship that maybe didn't pan out how you wanted to, to whatever. I mean, that was the original goal we had in mind. But again, I like to write with a broad stroke,
All right. Well, if you will go ahead and introduce your track to the listening audience, we'll get it queued up and ready to play.
Thank you so much. This is a track of ours called So Long by the Jeff Carlson Band. Thanks.
When you dream, do you still think of me?
Cool, I'm tired. You guys know what I'm here doing. If you're just tuning in, you are live right here on Tube Tuesdays on Endie Fiya with your girl Nakia. Guys, I'm tired. Man, I'm tired. You tuned in, yes, with my special guest, Jeff Carlson of the Jeff Carlson Band. And that right there was so long. Look, I make it a habit not to listen to music of my guests prior to the show because I want to be, as excited to hear the music, to like the music or to hate the music. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm just like my listening audience. And so I had not heard I actually heard a little bit of Juke Box Hero because I was curious because I liked the title. So I was real curious. So I heard a little bit. It's only like 30 seconds of it. But I had not heard so long. And so Jeff Carlson Band, I could actually sit down. I think I can listen to them. I honestly do. There's a lot of rock bands that I'm just going to keep it real. Like, I could not listen to them. Now, for one, I suffer from migraines. I can't listen to a lot of loud music. I just can't do it.
Aww.
And I would say that about, a lot of rap music. I can't listen to it. I can't get into the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this new stuff, I can't listen to it. But I could listen to the Jeff Carlson Band. I liked So Long. It was not overpowering. There wasn't a lot of screaming and hollering. You know what I'm saying? I always love the guitar solos, and I always love the drummers. But yeah, I like So Long. I like So Long.
Thank you.
I did.
Well, I got to say, can I just give a shout out to the guys in my band?
I got to catch my breath. Go ahead.
Robbie, Cory, and Todd, man, those guys truly make this our own unique sound and our own vibe. Because without them, I mean, it just wouldn't be the same, and it wouldn't be as good, I don't think. So I really got to give them credit. They all really bring a lot to the table, and without them, I'm kind of dead in the water, so to speak. So I really want to thank them, man. And I want to thank Nolan Hodges, my manager, and John Mahuka from RFL, and Douglas Franklin from RFL, and Sam Bone from RFL. You guys are awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your support.
Well, I don't know any of them, but I will shout out Sam Bone. I do know that my assistant is in constant contact with Sam Bone, so we always have to shout. We always have to shout
awesome.
Sam out because they are in constant contact. So yes, and shout out to Jeff, Robbie, and Cory because just the Jeff Carlson bands, and I get it. You're Jeff, but there wouldn't be this band. You lead and you play the guitar, but you need those other gentlemen as well, and everybody that works behind the scenes, as well, to make this band so successful. I would have to, say shout out and give all of you, your due respect. So thank you all.
Absolutely.
I know
I'm just a quarterback,
Yeah. Well, we need a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? But we also need defense. We need offense. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Shout out to all of you. Yes. Now I know that you all have performed with many credible artists, as we have read in your bio. So every performance has had to be an amazing experience. But which would you say has made the biggest impact on the career of the Jeff Carlson Band?
It's not just one performance. I mean, if you want a Grammy or something like that, which, by the way, we did get on last year for Screamin Inside. We got, we didn't make the final 5 on the ballot, but we did make it through a lot of the voting.
Really?
On the ballot. Yeah, last year, yeah. So, yeah, and that I used to have a company they're called Big Noise Now. They were ran by a guy by the name of Al Gomes, and he's really cool. He helped us get there, and hopefully we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a Grammy eventually.
Yes.
So
amazing.
yeah, so yeah. But as far as like one gig, I mean, when I first I opened up for Frank Hannon from Tesla in Tucson, and I got up and I sang one of his songs, a Tesla song, with him on stage after we got done playing, and that opened the doors for him and I to, become friends, and eventually I got to jam with him, and he recorded on our Juke Box Hero. So I mean, that's kind of forged a really cool friendship, which I'm honored to know the guy. I mean, he's one of the nicest, most down to earth, most talented guys I've ever known in the music business. So it's cool to be his friend, man. That's all I can say. Him and Mark Slaughter both. Mark Slaughter's another one that was really cool. I got to play with him in Tucson as well. We did a solo show of his, and I played lead guitar with him. So that was a lot of fun, But as far as this band goes, we played House of Blues here in Las Vegas last August. Great show, man. We had so much fun, and hopefully we'll be back there doing it again. So.
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. When you think of rock and roll and the heavy metal, you think of loud, screaming, guitars blaring. At least I do. But you think of not a fan being in their seats, that type of atmosphere. But have you ever got to a venue where the audience may not have really known who JCB was, and when you stepped on the stage, you weren't met with this type of enthusiasm? Like the audience just looked at you like tired and bored? Like, what did you do?
Well, I've never done a whole show like that. Now, I've done plenty of shows where they haven't known who we are, and I've had to, what I would say, prove myself, And by the time the set's over, I get reaction. I connect with them, and that's to me what it's all about, is connection. So yeah, I mean, you're going to run into that no matter who it is if they're not familiar with you. But it's up to the artist, in my opinion. It's up to us to make sure that when we get done playing, you guys at least enjoy yourself watching us, even if you don't know one song. I mean, it's all about performance and connection with the audience. So I haven't really had a full gig like that. I mean, like I say, I've done several gigs where they don't know who we are or whatever, and they're just kind of like, okay, next. They're not there to see us. But at the end of the set, I try to have them leave and go, oh, who was that? They were pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the goal. So, yeah.
I want to get into your next track that I have, and that's Juke Box Hero. Now, I know that this is a remake of Foreigner's Juke Box Hero, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it does feature Tesla's Frank Hannon on lead guitar. How did that, how did that all come about? I know that you just said, Frank's a cool guy. Did you just jump on the phone and, hey, can I get you on the track? I mean,
it wasn't that easy. No. Well, Frank and I have known each other since 2010. So in November of 19, Tesla was on a break. They weren't touring at that point. And he lives in Sacramento, which is about, 8 or 9 hours from Vegas. So I just flew up there. He called me, and he was like, hey, man, I got this gig coming up at a private party. You want to do a whole set of Tesla songs, singing them? And I'm like, let me think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll be right there. So yeah, man, it was really cool. So I went up and we did it, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was if I would have told, my 16-year-old self I'd be, on stage playing with
right.
one of my guitar heroes, my head would have probably exploded, but it was so much fun. So fast forward to December, the next month, I got back to Vegas and everything, and I knew we were going to record a version of Juke Box Hero, and I thought to myself, I'm like, man, that would be so great if Frank could play the lead on it. So so I had my producer. He recorded it and sent him the stems of the whole song, and Frank recorded the lead in his studio at home and sent it back to me, and here we are, man. You know, so it was a lot of fun. It really was.
Wow. Ready to go ahead and introduce this track to our listening audience.
Hey, this is Jeff Carlson of the Jeff Carlson Band, and you're listening to Juke Box Hero.
Standing in the rain, with his head hung low, couldn't get a ticket, it was a sold-out show. Heard the roar of the crowd, he could picture the scene, put his head to the wall, and like a distant stream, he heard one guitar, just blew him away. No stars in his eyes, and the very next day, bought a beat-up six-string in a second-hand store. Didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure that one guitar felt good in his hand. Didn't take long to understand just one guitar sunk way down low was a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking, and he's never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking. Someday gonna make it to the top and be a Juke Box hero. He's a Juke Box hero. He took one guitar. Juke Box hero. He'll come alive tonight. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, while the castle's own shadow by the backstage door, like a trip through the past. That day in the rain, now one guitar, and his whole life changed. Now he needs to keep a rocking, and he's never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking. That boy has got to stay on top and be a Juke Box hero. He's a Juke Box hero.
Oh my gosh. Whew. My throat hurts. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys. Whew. Okay. Yes. It's official. Like, my favorite band is now the Jeff Carlson Band. If you're just tuning in, you're live right here on Tuesdays. It is definitely lit up in here tonight. We're live with Jeff Carlson of the Jeff Carlson Band. Did you guys hear Tesla's Frank Hannon on lead guitar? Did you hear? Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
It was a lot of fun.
My throat hurts. We're here to Screamin Juke Box Hero. My throat hurts now. My throat was just hurting. My throat hurts. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a tough song to sing, man. Lou Graham's one of my heroes, the original singer of Foreigner. He's amazing. But yeah, I love Foreigner. They're one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah, my chest hurts. I mean, we were in here screaming Juke Box Hero, like, yeah, two people who've never heard the song before. I told you I heard like 30, 45 seconds of it. Well, they've never heard it before, and they're just screaming Juke Box Hero. And yeah, that was amazing. Now I need to go listen to Foreigner.
Thank you.
We need to listen to the original. Then go back and listen to. We'll be doing that all night, just comparing. But that solo, oh my gosh, like, oh.
Yeah, he can play.
Jesus, oh.
Yep. Wait till you hear on the new record.
And tell us what
we redid a Journey song on the new record.
Which song?
We redid a Journey song on the new record that's going to be coming out too, and it's called LaDoDa, and Mark Slaughter's going to be playing lead guitar on that one too.
So,
guys,
yeah, I'm familiar with Mark Slaughter, so yeah, and I know Frank Hannon, I know the name. Of course, I know Tesla, but yeah, I'm familiar with Mark Slaughter, and his sound. Yeah. Oh, I'm ready for that. Oh man. Ooh. Okay, I think my heart rate is back to normal. I know. Let's talk about the pandemic really quick. I know the pandemic has slowed down artists in so many ways, but it's also been the perfect opportunity for sounds upon things that they never would have thought that they would be able to do. How has Jeff Carlson remained productive throughout the pandemic?
Well, I'll tell you, it didn't start off good because we had a gig scheduled at the House of Blues here with Tesla April 17th of 2020, and it got canceled because of it. So that was a real bummer, but hopefully we'll get it rescheduled when they start touring again. So we'll see what happens. But on the flip side of that, it enabled us to really spend time and write and really put the time into creating the best album we possibly could, and not feel like we're under a time constraint, because I think a lot of times, especially a lot of these bands, they have their whole lives to write the first record. And then a lot of times with some of the bigger labels, what they'll do is they'll say, well, you've got 6 weeks to write another record, the second record. And to make it as good as the first one is tough to do unless you've got a whole backlog of songs, So we were real fortunate as far as that goes. We really took our time and did a lot of the detail work that normally we wouldn't have had time to do. So we're real happy with what we've done as far as this new record will be the best stuff we've ever done. I honestly firmly believe that, because we did really take the time to really detail it like it should have been, So I'm real happy with that. It's kind of been a bummer. I was doing live streams for a while, acoustic shows, and to me, it's all about the song. It sounds good on an acoustic guitar. As far as being a songwriter, that's where it starts with me, is on acoustic guitar, and And if you can write really well on that and convey, feeling over on that, then it's only going to get better electric. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we really miss playing, but at the same time, it's like, it is, I hate that saying, but there's not much, it's kind of out of our hands until places start to open back up and we can actually start playing again. So, but one thing is for sure is we've used this time to be as polished as we possibly can be before we come back out again, which is really cool. I tried to, and because there's nothing worse than not being prepared. So
right.
I try to use the time to prepare us as much as possible. So when the time does come where we can start playing again, we're on 11, man. So yeah,
that's good. In what way does the band give back to the community? Do you all have any? Does your platform have organizations that you sponsor, or an organization that you're affiliated with?
Not yet, but I mean, we've done shows before for charities. I love animals, man, and I would give anything to give back to, like Rick Springfield. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Jesse's Girl. He's a huge supporter of nonprofit for animals. Adopt a pet type of thing, and that's where my heart's at too. I mean, animals are where it's at. They're so amazing. I wish people were more like animals as far as unconditional love, that kind of thing.
And, I've always had reptiles growing up, and they're a little different than your fur babies. And it wasn't until
I don't think they scare me too bad. I hate snakes. I'm sorry. I know it just goes against what I was saying, but a good snake to me is behind the glass, away from me. They scare me to death, man. No thanks. I'm good.
Yeah,
fur babies are where it's at for me.
I have strange. People call it a strange affinity, but I have an affinity for snakes. But my children, it wasn't until my children got their first dog, and I realized that, he suffers from seizures. And
I'm sorry.
Everything that, he has to go through, and, how he takes medication, same medication that we take, you know what I'm saying? And how, my oldest son, it's actually his dog when he deployed in 2019, how he went through like emotional distress, and he was going through depression, and we had him, and he missed him. Like, you don't realize that these animals go through things just like humans do. I never realized.
Oh, I know.
You always see pets have always, like, dogs and cats have always been around, but I didn't pay attention to one until one was in my home. That they go through the exact same things that humans do, and so it just changed my perspective, on fur babies. When I had one living with me, so I completely understand where you're coming from. So what's next for the Jeff Carlson band?
Well, our next single, Fire, will be released March 19th. Have all your audience check it out when they have time, and as soon as it's ready for pre-order, go to our website, jeffcarlsonband.com. Go to Facebook, Jeff Carlson Band on Facebook. We also have a fan page called JCB Army on Facebook. And as soon as that's ready, available, we'll let you guys know. The album called Yesterday's Gone, that will be released, I believe, April 23rd. So we're looking forward to that. And hopefully by that point, we can start booking shows again and start playing again. So that's the big goal right there, is to just get out and play to a live audience. I mean, we're all in the same boat on that one. We all miss the contact of a live audience.
Yeah.
We did a live stream with the band and the hardest thing about that is trying to feel like you're playing to an audience when there's nobody there. You have to kind of dig deep for that, because it's not the same feeling at all, man.
I'm sure.
But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about the fans. I mean, if somebody out there likes what we're doing, that's all I can ever ask for. I'm very grateful for any sort of acceptance as far as music goes.
Well, last but not least, Jeff, there's someone who's listening now, an aspiring rock artist, and they say to themselves, you know what? I've listened to this interview. I've listened to, their tracks. I've actually gone to the website and I've seen, everything that they've done. I've actually heard some of their interviews, and I feel that I have exactly what it takes to become this amazing artist. I actually have a few guys, and we're starting to form a band of our own. But I actually don't even know the next step that I need to take to even make this happen. What words or piece of advice could you offer to this aspiring artist to say, hey, this is what you need to do to make that dream a reality?
Well, it's funny you asked that. I asked the same exact question to Gene Simmons of Kiss at one time. I actually got to sing with them. If you go on our Patreon channel, you subscribe, you can see where I actually sang with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss. But Gene told me, I said, what does it take to make it? I said, so many things out there that make it hard to break through, in today's world. He told me, just believe in yourself and don't keep looking over your shoulder to try to fit in this week's fad. He goes, we've never been in style. We just do what we do and it'll find its place. And more than anything, belief in yourself is key, and you got to just don't ever give up. If you surround yourself with people who are on the same wavelength mentally and musically, eventually you will get there. You just have to keep doing what you love doing and write from the heart, and surround yourself with people who believe in you just as much as you do. So that's kind of the best specific answer I can say, just don't give up, man.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome words of encouragement, inspiration, and advice. And guys, when we have the guests on the show and they drop these gems, please don't sit on them. Make sure that you soak up everything that they give you. And don't just make them, don't apply them to only your music career. Make them applicable to all parts of your life. Because, it's just not about your music career, but all of that intertwines together. All right? Thank you again.
Yeah,
Jeff,
absolutely. Thank you.
It has been amazing. I've learned some things myself, and I'm excited for Fire. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait for the release of the project. April, you definitely have a fan over here at Endie Fiya, and we say to all of our guests, once you're on the show, your family, you're welcome back at any time. I can't wait for the world to open back up, hopefully to see you guys perform with Tesla. Please keep me in the loop. I want to see this performance. I do. I got to be there. Wherever it is, I got to be there. I do. You
may have to come out to Vegas.
Hey, it's nothing but a thing. You know what? You tell me. Let me know. I will be there. Just a call.
You got it.
Frank, I will be there. I'm telling you, I will be there. Most definitely.
Well, and one last thing I got to say is I got to give credit to the man upstairs, because without him, I wouldn't be here. I actually died for almost 3 minutes on an operating table in 2001 because of My Crohn's disease had gotten so bad. So it helps to have a strong belief system, put it that way. It really does.
Yes, most definitely. And it is not very often that I get a guest that knows from where their help comes from and they actually give honor to where it is due. So, yes, I'm with you on that right there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you again, Jeff, for being here with me this evening. Guys, make sure you're right back here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, the 11th. Yes, urban fiction author V. Cole will be here with us. And then back here again, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday for the annual Anti-Valentine's Day show. You don't want to miss it. All right? You guys have an amazing evening. Jeff, you have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.